Bring it out. First we go. Cut 'em up, cut 'em up, cut 'em up. There we go. Build 'em up, build 'em up. Yeah, there we go. Break 'em down, break 'em down, break 'em down. There we go. Bring it out, bring it out, bring it out, bring it out. Cut 'em up, cut 'em up, cut 'em up.
Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. We're back at it again, cut from the street, and today we're in London, in the streets of Stratford. Today's topic, is England racist? That's the question. Is England racist? Now we know the States has a reputation, a name for being racist, but what about the UK? What about England? Today we're gonna find out.
Yes, indeed. We're going to find out pretty much this culture that England has, which is filled with racism. Football is one of those where they say that our people, that we're all inclusive. The black players, they're all welcome to play. There's even a slogan that says, kick out racism in football. So now we're about to find out from our people, truly, that sentiment that they say, kick out racism out of football, did that actually materialize in the Euro 2020? Officer.
Right, and we're going to get right into that. We're going to talk to them about the Euros 2020 because we saw what happened in the finals. 3 young brothers missed the penalty kicks, got saved, and guess what? The very next day, let's find out what the people have to say. So if that Israel, this is Cuts from the Streets. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Cuts from the street. And today we've got an interesting topic. Is England racist? Okay, is England racist? And today I'm with
Rebecca.
and
Salsabil.
okay, I'm with Rebecca and Salsabil. So, of course, you know, we told you about today's topic. Is England racist? Now, if I just ask you that question straight up, what would your first thoughts or your first answer be?
Yes, England is racist. I can't.
And what about you?
It would just be a simple yes, it's racist.
Okay, so the answer to the question straight up is yes.
And today I'm with
John Wick.
Brother John Wick, all praise to the Most High. So, Brother John Wick, the question is England racist?
Most definitely. And it always has been because it's institutionally racist. I mean, a lot of immigrants came here to help out this country, but when they don't want we here, they want to run us out of the country. So basically, it's in a football, it's in sports, it's in every part of society, racism.
And I'm here today with
Ramay.
Ramay. So the topic of today is England racist? That's the topic, right? So, Ramay, the question, is England racist?
That's quite a difficult question, but if I had to summarize it, yes.
Okay, so you said yes. Why is yes the answer? What experience have you seen, had for yourself, or maybe known of to come to that conclusion?
I've experienced quite a lot, but if I had to bring it to one, it would be when I was on the train and this white person came on and I was sitting down. They didn't have any reason to be racist to me, but they just straight out called me a monkey. That was the first time I personally experienced racism, and I just didn't really understand it. I was like, me, monkey? And everyone defended me, but I was just so shocked because nothing ever happened. I've always heard stories about racism, but when it happened to me, I guess it was like a culture shock almost. So yeah, I also experienced racism. My family has, they've called the police on us, my family, my neighbors, they're white. It's just things like that, just so much racism, subconscious and, just out there.
So, Rebecca, why would you say that England is a racist country?
I would say from stuff like football recently, everything that's been happening, and just black people getting accused for England being the reason why England lost as a whole. It's why are you blaming it on the skin color? Do you get it? Sports is supposed to bring everyone together in England closer, but they separated it and saying white versus black, and instead of us being together. Do you get it? So it's why are you blaming black people for being the reason why England lost the tournament? So yeah, I feel it's just racist, to be honest.
And Sasabo, what do you think? Why is your reasoning for saying yes?
Like, for me, it's not even just because the black and white thing. Like, it's so many different things. Like, I feel like in England, every race goes through something. But I feel like majority, obviously, is black people. But I'm saying, like, that's why I think it's so, like, racist, because it's so Caucasian mainly based. Like I said earlier, our own prime minister is racist. You get what I'm saying? So if he's the one that rules the country, as you would say, and our queen, who's just a fully white Caucasian lady that doesn't stand for any certain types of rights, extra rights for black people, people of colour, Muslims, anything. And it's just everything seems so acceptable. Like, for instance, what happened in football the other day, like, it hasn't been made a big enough deal. Like, someone got dragged and all the things that have happened just for people, just for being black. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you're a normal person, it won't make sense to you how these things can happen just because someone's skin colour or if they're wearing something on their head or whatnot. So that's it. Like, it's simple. Like, it's owned by a racist. You follow the leader, it's going to be racist. And although us lot here, we're not going to stand for it, the march, whatnot. If the leader's racist and stubborn, then that's it. We just live in a racist society with a racist economy.
That's a good point. That's a good point because, you know, like you said, you got a leader. Naturally, the people that are following the leader, you know, they're going to follow after that example.
Right. So prior to you experiencing it firsthand, in your mind, you didn't really see or really think that England was really racist, did you?
No, I didn't. I was very naive. I just assumed you hear about racism and you think, oh, okay, so it's just happening to other people. It won't happen to me. It's very chill. But then you discover, no, it is subconsciously there. It is around us. It's a daily thing. It happens to you bit by bit. It depends, I guess. So.
Right. So UK, do you think the racism in the UK, they hide it? They do a good job in hiding it a lot? Because when you ask a lot of the people, generally, is England racist? He don't give a damn that there's a camera there. Right, when you generally ask the people about this topic, a lot of people don't see it. It takes a spark or someone has to be put to death or physically harmed worldwide in order for us to see it. So do you think England does a job in hiding the racism that's going on in the UK?
They definitely do. They don't address it often. People don't know probably enough about it. They don't know about people's stories. I have quite a few white friends. They don't understand what I go through. Even trying to explain it, they don't see it. But then again, that's their privilege in a way, because they go through life very easy. They get opportunities very easily. There's also something that happened to me recently where someone got an opportunity and I didn't, just because of their race. And that was just... It's just things like that, just subconscious, and you might not see it, but as a black person you do, and that's just how it is. So, yeah.
Now, from what I understand, you two play football, right? You two play football. So, as far as I was aware, I ain't a football guy, I'll be honest, never was. But as far as I was aware, let me know if I'm wrong, don't England always lose on penalties?
Oh my God.
Always lose on penalties.
They're so bad at penalty. And I can't lie, sorry, you see the captain, Harry Kane, he can't like take a proper penalty and everyone's always gassing him because of his skin colour. It's not even about him being a good player, it's because of his skin colour. But you see players like Rashford, I don't know if you saw it on Sunday night, and Saka and Sancho, it's because of their skin colour. Like, they were just pressured to like be the reason why we lost, and it wasn't even our fault. Well, their fault, to be honest.
It's simple. They don't want a black guy to be the reason they're up there. If England won, it's because the English guy won it. Do you know what I'm saying? So if they're automatically putting black people to a negative side of the scale, then obviously it's so much easier to just push it. Like, why didn't you just win the game while the match happened? Why'd you have to wait till the penalties? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just 19, as simple as that. Like, he has less... less experience, simple as. I don't get, like, people just find, this is why I think it's racist, like, any little thing you can use to put black versus white, Muslim versus Christian, whatever, then you just use the excuse straight away to start hating on people for wherever they're from.
And then afterwards, he got the racist comments, like Rashford, he missed a penalty, they tore down they defaced his monument and everything, and it was disgraceful, but it was expected. All of them expected it because they're used to it. It always happens. It happens on a weekly basis at club level. Like if Marcus Rashford miss a penalty for Man United, he get the same racist abuse because that's what these people are like. Like them like to use racism as an excuse for hatred. It's basically just hatred. And it just shows its face whenever they feel like.
Right. So basically, it's something that it's always happened.
About that, let's talk about that. So the finals came, England were up 1-0, Italy came back, it turned to penalties. The last 3 penalties for England, you had 3 young black males that took the shots for England. Now they all missed, or the goalkeeper saved those shots, which were the deciding shots to make Italy win. Now the reaction, what's your thoughts on the reaction of England towards what took place, the 3 young males that took those shots and missed? What was the reaction? What's your thoughts on that?
There was just so much pressure put onto them whilst they were doing that. Like, it's just so much pressure, and I don't think people understand that. Even if they missed it or not, it doesn't really matter. They did so well. I think we should be really proud of them. As a whole, they got so far anyway. But the fact that people don't understand that, and they're bringing it all down to race and being really hateful towards our colour, I just cannot comprehend that. I do not understand that. That's just why I believe most people, I don't want to say who, but just most people are so close-minded. The fact that they believe just because they did not succeed, they have to attack us or they have to hurt people. I've seen people come out of pubs with like blooded faces. The fact that that's happened. I also heard something about someone being attacked or thrown over the River Thames. Don't know if that's true, but if that is what happened, I don't see the correlation. I don't see why that had to be the result of what happened, because what happened was a success. They did get a medal, even though they weren't first. Still, that's a massive achievement. I think we should just be proud of that as, a country.
You said you saw something on YouTube. Are you able to go into any specifics?
Yeah, I feel really, really sad. That about all the black football players that that really they're heroes for their country. They're role models for young people coming up, and to see this kind of behavior, it really appalls me. And it's sad because sometimes we can be complacent and believe that racism is still not around. But sadly to say, in the UK, it's very, it's not covert, but it's
open.
It's open,
Yeah.
or it's underneath, sort of. But it came out for those people who have those mindsets, and we hope that it would have gone away, but sadly it's still with us. It's very real and it's very rife. And yeah, it's really sad. It saddens me, because I think there needs to be more education, starting with schools, the younger generation coming up. Sadly, it makes you wonder where the young people are getting it from. Where is it really coming from? What are they being taught?
Because, right now we live in a time of, social media. Did you see any social media posts in particular? Was there anything that you saw, or what were your thoughts on the things that you did see on social media?
I saw white grown men, old men, just attacking young black boys, girls, scaring them away from the pub straight after the penalty, blaming us for the reason why England lost. Because Saka's black in it, and he obviously didn't score the goal. And yeah, it was a lot. People were killing themselves as well, and it was majority black people. Yeah.
And how did that, a question I've got, right? So you two play football, you're into football a lot, right? From what you said. Now, Rashford, Saka, Sancho, they're at the top of their game, right? They're all good players. I don't know much about football, but they're pro footballers. For you to be a pro in any sport, it's like 1,000,000 to 1, right? So my question is, what does this really show us? Because no matter the status that you get into in society, it's like you can never rise above the status of your people. Because, right, you want to be a football player. I presume you want to be a football player. You two playing football now, no matter how good you get, as soon as you make a mistake, we're going to read it, but you're just a nigger again, right? So how does that make you think, or what outlook does that give you about, for example, pursuing something like football?
It's like, wait, can you give it to her first so I can think about it?
I mean, for me, obviously, I'm not black, but I'm of North African culture, innit? So I feel like anything, just when people hear my name, they automatically know, like, oh, she's not British, she's not this, that. So I'm not going to act like I know everything black people go through, but just through my friends, like even sometimes me, obviously get mistaken for being black. So just from that little percentage, the taste I've gotten has not been nice. Like, straight away, like, you just get assumed that you're going to be violent, negative. So then anything to attack, people can do it. And it's just a shame, like, for instance, any sort of black business that blows up is straight away known as the first black business to blow up, which I think is really good, but I'm thinking it shouldn't ever have to be like that. It's just, all right, cool, a person made something out of their life. It shouldn't be because you're black or white. Why is it such a big deal for a black person to finally, do you know what I mean, get somewhere? Like, it is a big deal and it's good, but I'm saying it should never have been like that. Like, white people should never have had that, like, when I say white, I mean Caucasian, they should never have had that upper hand for now when a black person does something just as good. It's made a big deal for 1 minute, then lowered. Whereas now, David Beckham, he's been playing for years. I think he's even retired, and he's still made such a big deal of. Do you know what I mean? When Saka and all these other football players, when they retire, Marcus Rashford done so much good. Everyone was gassing him up, fed everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? All he's known as the black guy that fed the people, and then the black guy that disappointed us all. And then obviously disappointments, you just hear black and disappointment, black and good. You're always going to go to the negative first, so it doesn't make sense.
Okay, I hear that. And do you think of that answer, like, as a black player, how does it make you feel? Because you could be the best in the world, but you make a mistake.
Like, I need to work 10 times harder than everyone else to, like, just, like, get out there. And it's, like, it's upsetting, but it is what it is. It's life. Do you get it? Like, it's just racism. It's never going to actually go away. So I'm just going to have to deal with it, to be honest. Yeah.
These people are demonic. The people are straight evil. They fight against the Most High and the Most High's people. Strictly that. They want to take everything that we got, use it and abuse it, which they've always been doing from the longest time. It's time for us to stand up and realize what time it is. We have to unite as people, as good people, as God's people, stand together and overcome this evil, because it's just the evil, it's just the demonic in them. It's always been in them. I mean, they import their racism, they go into everybody else's countries, they invade everybody else's countries, they don't say nothing about that. I mean, they bomb cities and countries from afar, and it doesn't even come in the news. That's not even a war crime. They go into places like Syria, Lebanon, all these places, what them doing in
Haiti.
Yeah, Haiti definitely. They rape and loot, and it's not even a war crime. And this country does it in everybody's country. That's why they're racist, because they must be racist, because they look at everybody else's country as a place where they can just invade, loot, rape, kill, destroy, and just take.
So would it be fair to say that, you know, you're basically sick and tired of it? It's something that has been going on for quite some time. Nothing has changed. It's been like that. It's
nothing has changed. I was born in this country, and I've seen racism from the 70s all the way to today, and my children are getting the same treatment that I got when I was a child.
Right, so what do you think is the solution, or is there any? Because this racism, which is in the UK, has been there for a long time. It's been sugar-coated in certain ways, shapes and forms. This week has been brought back to reality to a lot of our people. Okay, and we're gonna. I want to show you a few things after your comment, scripturally, on why this is the case. But what do you think? Is there any solutions?
I've always thought about this. I don't think there will be. I don't know, because people are always gonna. It just depends on the person. Maybe if we try to educate people more, maybe if they try to understand us, maybe that might help. But I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. So we're actually a biblical organization, right? So when we look at things, we like to see things through scriptures. Yeah? Now, I get that's not everybody's thing, all right? But we just want to show you one or two things, okay? One or two things as to how we can look at this situation, because whatever it is, whether it's football, some other kind of job, whatever, right? like you said, the color of your skin, you have to work 2, 5, 10 times harder, right? And actually, what this has done, this scenario, is actually revealed what's in a lot of people's minds in this country. Because England has a reputation like, we're okay, we're not that racist, we're politically correct. In fact, England accuses the United States of being racist, right? But the Bible is actually going to reveal something else. Have I got a read already? Yeah, so we ain't going to take too long, right? You're giving us some good answers. But I just want to show you a couple things, okay? Now, let's get Sirach chapter 12 and verse 8. Because you two mentioned something very good about how Marcus Rashford in particular, I'm going to take his name, okay? When he was doing the free school meals, when he was doing all this campaigning, his name was pure gold, right? But as soon as he missed that penalty, he became a nigger again, all right? So we're going to read this, and we're going to see what it says. Read that.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 8. A friend cannot be known in prosperity.
So it says, a friend cannot be known in prosperity. Meaning if you're doing something good, right, people are going to flock around you. They're going to want to be your friend. They're going to say, yeah, look how good a person Rashford is. Look at all the work that the England team are doing. Look at how well, for example, Sterling is playing. I was on a mobile to someone and someone told me about how well Sterling is playing, right? Exactly, right? But that's in prosperity. Now, when something goes wrong, what's going to happen?
And an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity.
It says, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. Meaning as soon as you make a mistake, especially as a black player or a player of color or however you want to put it, right? You are going to get thrown under the bus. You're going to get, like, for example, right? There's social media posters saying, punish a nigger day, 5 points for spitting on a nigger, 75 for rape, 500 for lynching, right? So it's really showing you what's actually in people's minds. You understand? When you're doing well, they're going to be like, yeah, you're my boy, you're my friend. But as soon as you do bad, that's when the true colors are actually going to come out. And so the nation of England is actually showing itself to be a racist nation based on that. And all you have to do is look at the football and look at what happened this week to be able to see that.
We have different opportunities at football. A lot of our people get into the sports of football, basketball, different types of sports. And it makes us feel included up until we don't score, right? So this is what the Bible says on that.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
So if you're a wise man, the oppression that we're facing in the society, it should make you mad. You should be angry at those things that you're seeing. What's the atrocities, all the things that are facing our people. You should be angry at those things. Oppression will make a wise man mad. But this is why a lot of the so-called blacks in the UK aren't mad at what's taking place.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
A gift destroyeth the heart. So the gift that was given to the so-called blacks was sports. Oh, you're included in the sports. At least you was able to play. This is the type of comments that we get. You know, I was able to see a part of the, the England and Germany match where Raheem Sterling, he was all over the place. He was basically the dominant player for the England team. Harry Kane came on, scored 1 goal. He became the man of the match. And when you look at all the newspapers, Harry Kane, one, like maybe 1 or 2, Raheem Sterling. And a lot of people say, oh, it's not down to racism why he's not on there. It's not. Why? Because, read that again, that last part.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
It's a gift. They feel included. At least they was able to play. At least you was there. At least you was able to play the sport. That's that gift that destroyed her. But guess what? The wise people, they're going to be angry at the oppression that we see. Do you understand?
Yeah, definitely. And they want to make it seem like a privilege that we can even play, like as if they're giving us a favour when, in fact, everyone should be involved. It should be equal with everyone, but they just can't see that. I don't know.
They can't see it. So now, look. Let's see. Get me Proverbs 20 and 24. Because some people think, they just didn't score the goals. But guess what? Because a gift have destroyed a lot of our minds of our people anyway, the Lord had to wake us up. Because like you said, your dad loves football. the football to the black man is everything to a lot of our people. It's everything to them. So, you know, a lot of black on black crimes happening, a lot of things are going on with our people, but our people are still remaining asleep. So the Lord said, okay, I'm going to turn it. I'm going to attack the black man where his love is, the sports. I'm going to show that England hates you guys. Even though you guys are playing for them, when you're doing well, it's all love and all love. But as soon as you go against their wishes, you don't perform to their standard, here's what happens. The Lord wants to just show that thing right there. Watch this.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 20 and verse 24. Man's goings are of the Lord.
Meaning what? The Lord controls all things. So in order for these guys to miss the penalty, the Lord was in control of that. Because what happened after? Racism, your monkey, attacks. They didn't just attack those three young men, Saka, Sancho, and what's the last one? Rashford. They didn't just attack those young men there. They attacked the whole black race. Right? Is that the end?
No. How can a man then understand his own way?
Because look at this. Get now Hosea 5:15. Right? So the Lord controlled that situation to make them miss so that this racist society can be revealed for its true self. Because as soon as that happened, the racism started.
Right? One more. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 and verse 48. Now, just one thing I want to show you, right? Just one thing I want to show you, because a lot of the time, whether we're at the top of the football or the top of the business world or the top of whatever, we think that we can rise above the status of our people as a general. We think that our people are here, but because I'm successful, people are going to look at me differently. But that's not the case, okay? Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Now, there's a certain race of people, the Israelites, right, who we identify as the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, okay, who serve their enemies in all things, right? And it's going to give some examples.
In hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness.
So if you want food, you don't go to a person that looks like yourself, for example, right? If you want water, you don't pay the water bill to someone that looks like you, and you don't get your clothing from someone that looks like you. And that's true whether you're the beggar on the street or whether you're someone like Rashford, someone like Sterling, someone like Saka, right? Read on.
And in want of all things.
So that job, that salary that those men are getting, that hundreds of thousands a week, they still have to go to another nation of people outside their own. There is no black football league. But guess what? If those black players weren't in the leagues, it would be boring as hell.
They would have no good players. I'm not gonna lie. You have Harry Kane. Who else would you have? Players. Exactly. That's it. Harry Kane. Just players like that, and it's just boring, to be honest. Right. Yeah.
But as you can see, our people are forced to do these things, right? To get a job, all these different types of things. We're forced to do that from another nation of people. Read on.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And the same people that we go to for all things, they put chains on our neck in slavery. That's what the Bible is saying. Because slavery is in the Bible. Read that.
Until he have destroyed thee.
So it says, until he have destroyed thee. So remember, it said your enemy was going to do this. So the same people that put yokes of iron on our neck, do you really think just because you play for their football team, now they're going to love you? And that's a question you got to ask yourself. You understand? That's a question you got to ask yourself. So,
and I'm going to read a post that went on social media. I don't know if you saw it, but I'm going to read what it says.
This is Hosea chapter 5 and verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction will they seek me early.
So the Lord said in the affliction that constantly happens to our people is the only way he's going to get us to seek him. We're so hard-headed. He said the only way they're going to seek the Lord is through affliction. So what he did, made them miss the penalties so that the affliction started. So then he's like, oh, English races. So we can see it. We can wake up and understand these people do have a hatred towards us, right? Now I'm going to read a post. Okay. I don't know if you saw it. That went up. You're not on social media?
Not much.
Okay, so I'm going to read a post. This is what was sent on social media. And also, after Rashford missed the penalty, they went and destroyed his mural. Like, yeah, there's a big mural painted of him on the wall The next day they went and destroyed it. And guess what the police? Hey, bro. Guess what the police said? They said it's not down to racism.
Okay.
That's what he said, and that's the Guardian reported that. So this is the post, right? I'll show you right there. Right? We're gonna read it. We're gonna read what it says. This came out the very next day after the football match.
Social media post. These niggers have lost us the Euros. Monday 12th of July is Punish a Nigger Day.
See that? Because of 3 brothers missed the goals, now the next day is Punish a Nigger Day. It's no more, my teammates is nigger. Back to nigger.
5 points. Spit at a nigger.
So they had a scoring system in punishing our people. So 5 points to spit at us. Like you said, you saw smashed in faces. Yeah. Apparently someone got pushed over the River Thames or something like that. They must have been running off this scoring system.
10 points. Punch a nigger. 25 points. Steal a nigger's clothes. 50 points. Drive into a nigger. 75 points. Rape a nigger. 100 points. Break into a nigger's house. 500 points. Lynch a nigger.
Right, so what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, wow. I just can't believe people would think. I just don't know how someone would have that mentality. I know it's about racism and stuff, but the fact that they can't see that we're human as well, and you would be willing to do that to someone just over football, I'm so confused.
Right, you understand, the people over here, they don't see us as human. In Belgium, there was human zoos, and there was all people in them. In America, they classified as 3/5 of a man. Do you understand?
Any last words for the people?
Just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what else to say. I've said everything I could say, to be honest.
Just stay safe, man, and even though it seems like you have to, don't let your colour, where you're from, identify you, innit? Just keep grinding. I mean, it does identify you in this world, innit? It's just the world we live in, but still persevere your dreams, even if you're not going to be the best, even if you have to work twice as hard just to get to the same level someone would, you might as well just do it, innit? Because pray for the best, that's it. That's what I can say.
So, do you have any final points to tell the people?
Wow. I'm still confused about that, but the question about is England racist? I want to say yes, but there's, of course, people out there who aren't racist. I'm not saying everyone here is racist. It's just that that's what it seems for us. And I think more people should be aware. If you know what's going on, try and educate other people. You don't have to be black necessarily. You see something wrong, please speak up about it. Don't just sit back. If you see something going on, probably just be like a shield in a way. It just helps. Just be aware, do your research, be knowledgeable about what's going on. Don't just sit back and think everything's okay, because it's not.
That's right. So this is Cuts from the Streets. Is England racist? You decide. Shalom Israel. Yes, we are back. We are back. So we was dealing with the people regarding, is England racist? And based upon the people we spoke to, we concluded that, they concluded that England is racist. They gave several reasons why, personal experiences, things that they saw, things that they heard also. We even touched on the Euros 2020 and, what their thoughts were on the incident that took place after England lost. All right, so Ari, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, definitely. What we've seen this week in the UK, the racism towards, the pro football players, is a prime example of you can't rise above the status of your people. And, speaking to those that are into the sport, it's looking like they're starting to see that. No matter how hard I train, no matter how many hours I put in, I'm still just going to be a nigger or a negro. I got to work twice as hard as everyone else for half the reward, and it doesn't matter how good I am. Because you can never rise above the status of your people. And through the racism we've seen this week, that's been very much shown forth.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of people are starting to get it that, listen, this racism thing, this thing is spiritual. It's a spiritual thing. The Most High is putting on the spirits of our people now to realize that, listen, when the last days, it's time for us to know who we are, and to come back to keeping God's commandments. Realizing fully that, listen, these nations don't like us, they hate us, and what we need to do is come back together as a nation of people, all right?
That's absolutely correct. And guess what? A lot of our people are blind to see what's going on, but we're going to reveal what the Bible has to say on the situation. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 35, and we'll start at verse 2. Okay, let's see what the Bible says. This is the reason, okay, why England is indeed racist. And this is the reason why Euro 2020 turned out the way it turned out, why the social media posts that came out, why there was a lot of violence on that day. This is the reason why.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 2. Son of man, said I face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it.
And then that was, well, you didn't see what's happened. And Edomite or Mount Seir just walked past us and called us wicked for reading the Bible. So read it again.
Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it.
Right, Mount Seir represents Esau, Edom, when you read the book of Genesis chapter 36 verse 8. So now let's see, why is England racist? Why did they react in the way they did towards our football players? Jump down to verse 4.
Verse 4. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
Right. Edom has had a perpetual hatred against us. But guess what? A lot of our people have not seen it. They've sugarcoated it and gave us gifts as football to diffuse or make us believe that we're included. But guess what? The Lord revealed it this year, this day, during the Euros, that yes, indeed, that perpetual hatred is still there. So if that is right, we're going to say Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. This is Cuts from the Street.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.